I'm going to try the most viral hair curling video I could find on my frizzy, wavy hair. I'm going to go straight in and also answer the question of whether you can curl your hair on top of wavy hair without straightening it first. Let's get into it. I'll link up the original tutorial down below in the description box, and it has millions of views and it looks pretty easy. All you need really is a curling iron, the old-fashioned kind that have the clamp on them, not the wand, and a brush of some sort to separate your hair a bit, and just one of these. Like, she uses actually just a hair elastic. First section off just behind your ears like this. What I love about this particular tutorial is that it's quick, it's easy, you don't need a lot of stuff, you don't need a lot of experience, you don't even have to be that good at doing hair, which I'm not a hairstylist. The key parts of this tutorial I've discovered are this. Always separate your hair by splitting it down the middle in the back. You take one side like this, and you do something called the plus sign. And this is the key to making it really easy. Now you will see I have wavy hair. I'm not sure how well this works on curly hair, but if your hair is wavy, 2A, 2B like mine with some straight parts, what you do is you want to make a plus. This is the straight part of the plus. This is the up and down part of the plus, right? But you clamp it like so. Get as close to your head as you can. And then you start curling. And you always make sure this part is facing toward the mirror, and you'll see why. So you want to keep your finger on this clamp and you want to just kind of use it as a brake. This is actually better because to have the clamp, because it gives you the tension that you need to get this nice and tight. So what you want to do, you can't see, I'm almost like pumping the brake, little bit, like gently tapping on the brake. You don't want to completely push down on this because then all the hair will fall out of the curl. So you go like this, hold it. I hold each one for about 25 seconds. I just count to my head. I use pretty high heat as well. The amazing thing about this technique is that it gets pretty close to the scalp. So you do in fact do a nice job of defrizzing and smoothing the hair. And you'll see it went straight on top of hair. It does not have any product. I don't think you should do this if you already have a lot of like gel and mousse in your hair from like the curly girl or wavy girl method or anything like that. But look at the difference. You've got this beautiful smooth curl here. And then this is what it looked like before. This is no product, no sort of heat protectant. You can use heat protectant too if you wish. I'm just not using it today. This is just air dried hair. So look at the difference, right? It does work. So if that's a pressing question for you, yes, you can curl straight on top of wavy hair, or at least I can. So if you can't, and this doesn't work for you, let us know down in the comments. But if it does work for you, also let me know down in the comments. If you're enjoying this, can I please remind you to like and subscribe? That really helps me out a lot. And I'm always releasing new content on like beauty products and even hair history and makeup history. So we're gonna go on this side, same thing, right? Get nice and close to the scalp, start twisting little bit by little bit. And you're just sort of touching this clamp here, just touching it. The minimum amount you can to release some hair into the barrel. So there we go. That's the back of my head done. Super easy. Again, the strategy is that this, when you start your curl, must face forward, must be facing the mirror, this here. And when you do that, whenever you curl, you will always be getting it to turn away from your head, because that's where it can get confusing when you're supposed to be doing like which direction do you go in. I don't love wands for that same reason. I don't like holding my hand up like this. But anyhow, let's crack on. Okay, the next divide you want to make in your hair according to this. And if you just leave these here, you'll see you actually don't have to separate them. The next divide you want to make in your hair is at around where your eyes are. So she just uses her fingers in the actual original tutorial. She does not use one of these combs at all to divide. On the other hand, she is an actual stylist, unlike me, so that probably stands to reason. So let's put this up here. So when you have more, so I only needed 2 in the bottom level, but when you start to need, like, you have enough hair that you've got to maybe do 2 different curls, because that's too thick for the curling iron. What you want to do is you want to start on the backmost one, the one that's further to the back. Why? Because you'll get closer to the scalp without trying to like interfere with this one after this is done. That doesn't make a lot of sense how I've described it, but you'll see. So again, we're gonna make, you see, it's a plus sign. Can you see? All right, imagine a plus, and you want to get nice and close to the scalp, and you want to twist and turn, release and twist and turn. It's like you're stepping on that brake a little bit. You know, you're in stop and go traffic. Okay, so once the barrel has eaten up your hair, you're just gonna move this along and make sure as much hair as possible is contacting the iron. And what I do is I count to 30 or 25. So you might be worried, how can I tell the curled hair from the not curled hair? You just can. Texturally, it's different. It's longer than the curled hair. It is not hard at all. See how quick that was for me to separate it from the hair that's already curled, which is here. Again, make that plus sign, start to curl, get close to the scalp. I'm gonna say it probably takes me as long to get it eaten sucked up into the barrel, so to speak, than it does for me actually to hold it. So each curl is taking about maybe a little under a minute to do. The upside is there aren't that many altogether, so this ends up being pretty quick. The other thing I don't love about wands is they can burn the curls right off. I'm sure you've seen that horror story before where someone holds it and the next thing they know the entire curl is detached for their head. I find that this does not happen with this. This is a Conair curling iron. This is the kind that I usually buy. They're inexpensive. I have them in pretty much every size. I don't know what size this is off the top of my head, but I'll put a link down below in the description box for you. I suspect it might be either 3/4 of an inch or a 1-inch barrel, but I have them in every size. I love curling irons, and Conair doesn't snag my hair, and it's just not something I want to spend more on. I save my money to spend it on straightening irons. I always buy the brand Babyliss for a straightening iron because I just feel like I find straightening irons do rip out my hair, the cheap ones, so I'm always happy to splurge on those, but I've never had that problem with Conair curling irons, so I just stick with the cheap stuff. Okay, again, too thick for one curl, so we're gonna split this, yes, and pull this tight. Get a little bit of tension there, but again, you don't have to worry too much about tension because your clamp is gonna do the most of it for you. So here we go, twist and turn, step on the brake a bit, let more hair in, and twirl. What I love about this method is it's just simple, there's a lot of common sense, and you can do it on yourself, and it gets close to the scalp. I mean, I've never seen a tutorial tick so many boxes, and if you look at that video that I'm talking about, if you look in the description of her comments, you'll see how many people are like loving this tutorial for its ease and its simplicity. Make the plus sign, and section out your hair from the bottom going upwards. And it just is very easy to find the hair that doesn't belong. I don't know, my hair's black, so you won't see a lot of contrast, but like it's obviously this bit that's longer than this stuff here. So how come I'm curling all the way up and not like leaving that little bit of a tail to dangle down like you see in so many tutorials? I suspect you can, but the problem is my hair is quite textured and quite wavy, right? And frizzy. So I'm trying to get everything as smooth as I can. And the way to do that is to sacrifice those little tails, those little straight bits. If I really wanted them, I would probably go in with a flat iron after and kind of iron them down, but I just don't find the look calls for it. This makes everything just nice and smooth and gets rid of the frizz even sort of toward the tips as well. So that's the upside of doing it this way. Even though, you know, I think completely curls like this are not that much in favor, but it looks so nice when you sort of let it all out and you brush it out. I'll show you at the end. So that's 2/3 of my hair done, and I look like something out of, I don't know, the 1800s. So never in my life have I been entirely clear as to whether you can curl or should curl on top of wavy hair. You absolutely can. There's no reason you can't. I've been doing so for quite a while. I just have never found a tutorial to make it look this good and this glossy. This is the best one I've ever tried to go straight on top of waves. And I do not ever straighten my hair beforehand. It works great. I wish this creator had more videos. She doesn't have that many. I think she only has just a couple on her channel. And I have a look down below in the description. You can watch it there if you wish. Okay, last one for this side. Plus sign, twist. I try and roll it so that the most hair possible covers the most of the barrel, just because when you have wavy hair, you just need almost as much as you possibly can to touch the actual barrel, or else it'll have a different wave pattern than the waves you're trying to make. But I mean, look how easy, look how shiny these are compared to like my frizzy hair when I started. Now, these curls do not hold all day, especially if you're not using a lot of hairspray to lock them in. But it doesn't matter because what you do get is this pretty blown out look and less frizz, which I think for me is the entire goal of spending this amount of time on my hair instead of just letting it air dry and carrying on. When you have wavy hair, you know, like wash and go hair is not the easiest. Your hair often just looks really unkempt. Okay, so again, look how frizzy this is here. That's gonna be completely smoothed out. In fact, I'm gonna divide this into two. Thank goodness we have hairdressers here on YouTube to show us how to actually do things. I have looked my entire life for this type of tutorial that makes it so that I can do my own hair easily and actually get the back of my head well, because that's always the challenge. And she just made it foolproof. Okay, last bit, right? You can see this here is the not curled one. So it's not that hard, even though you haven't got things in a 10,000 clips, you don't actually need them with this method, which is also amazing. She's also just really clear the whole video, the creator, to make sure that you're always pulling your hair forward so it's sitting here so you can see it all sort of in front of your face and you can see what's curled and what's not. Genius, genius. Okay, last one. Obviously, it's taking me longer because I've been talking through this, but this takes me about 10 minutes. So if you know me, I talk about hair loss or have done in the past, you do get hair loss. I don't know if you can see this that well, but definitely some hair falls out. Don't worry about it, it's normal, it happens. You're brushing through your hair, you're styling your hair will fall out during the process. All right, so This is not the final look. This is the finished curled look. And what you do is you wait for this to cool off and then you just flick out your hair, and I'll show you that next. And I would be remiss not to mention that you should sign up for my newsletter. It's helenavery.substack.com. I talk about beauty news there. I talk about products I love, products I don't like, techniques like this. If you want to keep up to date, it's completely free, helenavery.substack.com. So what you can do is certainly wear your hair like this. And this is the look they call party curls. I still think it's kind of pretty. What I would typically do is just spritz it just the tiniest bit with hairspray. My favorite all-time hairspray is L'Oreal Elnet unscented. I will link this up as well. You gotta wait 5 minutes or so when it's completely dry if you want a looser wave, or you just want the smoothing effect more than anything else. You just brush it out with your fingers at that point. The brilliant thing is every curl, I don't know if you can see each one again because my hair is dark, every curl's face is rolling away, so it really just sort of emphasizes and opens up the face, and that is why this look is very beloved. I actually made a video about the middle part with the waves. I'll be sure to link it up at the end of this video. You should watch that one. It's pretty cool. At this point, you just sort of want to push your hair back like this, and you want to just use your fingers to just gently go through it all. Just like one time. You don't have to overdo it. There you are. Really pretty. Only took 10 minutes. 2 big thumbs up. Just give it a try and let me know how it works. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and be sure to watch this video next.